Meeting
This
to order
conference will now be recorded.
at 2:32 p.m. If everyone's on mute, great. Alan, I think someone's making noise there. Perfect. So if I can get approval for the minutes for the regularly scheduled meeting on December 23rd.
So
Moved by Alan. You can raise your hand too if you don't want to go off mute. Second by, I'll take that by Bob Ford scratches his head. That's a second. Any other discussions? If none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay. Trail markers. We need to figure out a date to put them up. We'll probably wait for the spring so we don't have to schedule something now because the weather's just going to be in the way. The boardwalk. Any other discussion on that? Is everybody okay with that for the spring?
yeah, Bob, real quick. I just want to throw something out there. Do we want to think about maybe doing something with the trail markers in conjunction with the GIS remapping? I was thinking maybe taking our logo off of some of the trail markers and putting on like the G9 or R4, whatever those marks are, just so that it kind of correlates to what we're doing with the GIS update and that MetroCog map.
It's probably a good idea. I guess the general part of it where I'm kind of going with the trail markers right now, there's just certain areas that are barren. So is that on the call? Ed's not on the, are you on the call?
Yes, I'm on the call, and I apologize that I didn't get the markers up to you. I'll make it a point by this weekend.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
If you can, just throw it in this. I have a silver bin on my porch. You can just throw them in there. Right.
Yes, I know. I just been meaning to get up that way, and I haven't.
No problem. Yeah, just when I'm walking, I'm just going to start carrying them in when I see there's some barren areas. What we need to do too, and I've seen it a lot. I've been in the woods more in the past year than I probably have in 10. People get lost quite a bit. We just got to figure out how to get a map in the middle there where you can go back and almost like point this way to the parking lot or something. A lot of young, and it's really novice people that just walk in the woods. They're not your hiking folks at all. Matter of fact, it might be the first time they've ever walked in the woods type of thing. So I've just seen a lot of it. It's nothing. No one's gotten in trouble yet. Obviously, you can get out of there pretty easily. It's not the largest piece of parcel. But if you get lost in the north part of it, you can get, if you go lime green, you could end up, way up near Route 8, and that gets a little hairy up there. So,
it sounds like it could be a nice little project for somebody, an Eagle project or something. I don't know
if I can just interject, I would request that we don't mark the blazes with the G9s and R2s or whatever they are. That's part of the Eagle project that is behind the GIS map. So that's his responsibility, is to put up some sort of trail marker that's separate and basically just says, in case of emergency, dial 911 and then G7. Right, so that people can, the whole point of this project really, from his point of view, is to work with the town, which he has been doing, but work with the town so that if somebody calls up and says, yes, I need help, I broke my leg, I'm at B7, they'll know what that is and they'll be able to get right there. So
awesome.
I don't think we should be mixing. I think that the other idea of having some independent sign that directs people toward, back to the parking lot or something, that might not be a bad idea. But once the map is available with the QR code, people entering the forest at any of the trailheads will be able to pull the map up. And that's part of the project too, and we've been told by MetroCog that that's not a problem. So all of that is sort of in the works.
Well, I would say let's not just get in the way. So a little bit. So that would be good. You there?
No. No.
All right, cool. So
Sounds good.
that was a good discussion. Anything else on that?
No.
So this one is kind of near and dear to my heart. The boardwalk on the Orange Trail. That little, I couldn't call it little. I don't even know how many feet it is. I don't know, 100 feet. Does that sound right? That little old telephone poles that were cut up and boards put across them.
The swamp area.
In the marshy area there. It's a mess. It needs to be fixed. I can honestly tell you, I don't know how the town would fix it, but just guys keep that in mind. If anyone's got a solution, I'm all ears at this point, but it's a mess. Okay. So just got to keep it on the agenda because we got it. Something's got to be done with it. The dog park. So what's been some of the things? I mean, obviously, there's been some more complaints. It's not really dog park related, so I hate to kind of throw it under there, but it does start with the word dog. There's been a lot of people with dogs off leash. I've run into them there and just reminded people nicely, you know, you got to get your dog on the leash. So, and the problem with it, I think the dog off the leash more than anything else is when they defecate, it seems like those owners don't clean them up on the trail. So if I'm walking the trail, I got a big stick and I'm kicking, you know, dog feces into the side of the woods there, which isn't really cool. But it is a problem. Just so you know, there was well, it's a problem up there. Without enforcement, I don't think anything's going to change. I don't think the ACO is going to take a drive. I don't know how many miles that is, a good 7-8 miles up from where they are to enforce it, but I don't know. But that's something else. The dog park itself, I have nothing to report on that. It's being used heavily. Any other comments? All right, cool. Scout camps.
Bob, I have a comment. Saying the animal control officer won't go up to the forest, that seems like an unreasonable stand on their part, if that's really their stand. I mean, if we have a dog issue up there, then the animal control officer ought to be up there often enough that people think that can happen, as opposed to it being a free-for-all. And
you know what, Bob? I actually not only agree, I really like that. So, Eileen, in the notes, in the minutes, if you can note that the Roosevelt Forest Commission is requesting animal control to do periodic patrols at Roosevelt Forest. If somebody can go on mute.
Yep, Bob, you're cutting out. I can't hear you.
Bob, I think there was a helicopter flying by or something. We didn't hear you.
All right, let me see if I can do this, if this sounds. No, that's not going to work right now.
Bob Cord, can you mute yourself?
Yeah, Bob, I think it's you. Yeah, it's Bob Ford. Okay. Yeah, Bob, we can request in the minutes that the animal control makes patrols up there. Request Chief McNeil to direct ACO to do periodic patrols at Roosevelt Forest for enforcing the leash laws. Does that sound good? Everybody good? We can go thumbs up. I think that's probably the easier way. You can go thumbs down. We'll be like Nero, right? For those.
Hey, Bob.
Like,
Bill O'Brien.
Hey, Bill. How are you?
Hey, Good. Hey, this is an ordinance that any police officer can enforce. In fact, several years ago, my brother was at Long Beach with a friend, and they had a dog out on the beach, during the months when you're not allowed to, and they got a ticket and got fined. So any police officer can enforce it.
Well, that's even better, Joe. If we could, Joe, Aileen, if you could ask Joe McNeil to have Stratford PD and the ACO. Hey, this is probably the traffic enforcement officer writes tickets for parking. They can't do that though, right, Bill? That'd be over their steps.
I don't think so.
Because that's a local ordinance, though. It's not a state statute. That's a good question to ask. They might be able to have that power. I don't know. I don't know.
And we have a sign, right? Or have sign.
We have sign. We have a plethora of signs. We have way too many signs up there already. I don't want to. I think we got a sign for bears and cubs and beavers and everything else. So I don't think we need more signs. The non-smoking signs, of course, too. All right. So we beat that up a little bit. The Scout Camp live edge repair. I know there's supposedly a check somewhere. Has anybody got any updates on that? I'm not.
I would love to be able to give you an update, but I can't. I have been cajoling the young man whose project that is. And it's been hard though, because we haven't been able to meet in person as a troop since March. So it's I don't get to see him enough to really make it consistent. So yeah, I'm as frustrated as anybody else. It's not moving forward.
And Bob,
Did the siding ever get delivered to the forest?
Bob.
Or we're still waiting?
Thank you for the update. Sorry, I had a son locked out of the house, so I heard everything.
Nothing has been purchased or delivered.
Any other comments on that?
Okay. Thanks, Chuck.
Yes, Bob. This is Eddie. Yeah, as far as I know, that check is still in the finance department, and I'm sure it's not good because it's way past 90 days. So I don't know how that gets handled.
Yeah, the checks. Well, what do we want to do with it?
I'm not really sure. I have ran into another scout leader, Larry Cinto, and he seemed to express interest in possibly getting involved with doing it, but I didn't want to take this project. Was hoping to see the fruition with the other Chuck's Eagle project, Scout. So I'm not sure where we stand with it, what we should do.
Well, if you and Chuck could sidebar and kind of maybe come up with a solution, that'd be great. If not,
I'm just thinking that I'll just contact the kid and tell him, look, you're going to lose the project if you don't start moving on it. And
the kid's probably got to be
somebody else wants to do it and is available to do it, then maybe that'll push him over the edge to actually do some stuff with it. So
how old is he? He must be getting close to that.
He's not 18 for a while.
Oh, good. Okay, so there's still hope.
Yeah, I mean, it is this year. He is a senior in high school. He is one of the motivated, high-achieving academic students who wants to go to college. So he's got all sorts of advanced placement courses that he takes and everything. So I know that he works hard on that stuff. But if we can just get him to work hard on this, it would be great. So.
Yeah. If I could, I'm willing to offer my services if you may pass that on to him. As I admit, I have expressed that to him.
Right.
If he wants to, tell me what, I would be more than willing to help him out.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, just to get this kid. It's so important for him to realize he's got to become an Eagle.
Yeah.
Especially when you're that close. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
The
Bob,
ultra.
what's the check you're talking about? What's the check for?
There was a check that came out of the Roosevelt Forest Commission for the wood, the actual material for the mill, for the clapboards, and it was in the process of being milled and paid for, but the boy needed to go there and pick up the check, and the wood be delivered to the forest, and he would have to pay for it, but that never happened. It's been so long ago. I can't
if I got the details, if I got the details, I'd be glad to reach out to Dawn at the finance department and arrange to get it picked up.
Yeah, that's not the challenge. The challenge is the kid's got to get. he's got to get moving.
Yeah, he's got to make arrangements to get the stuff milled and delivered. So, and then
okay.
once he has an ETA for that, then he can work out the check issue.
Yeah, the check can be recut. That's not a big deal. And the checks, I think under the new banking laws, they're good for up to a year, believe it or not. It's not the old days were 90 days. So they've changed that.
That was 6 months even.
Nah, it's it's a year.
A year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I only know that because I found one of my kids' checks from June in a drawer. Good times. Friends of Roosevelt Forest page. The enforcer, Bob Ford.
Yeah, the enforcer. There's some graffiti. I think that comes up on new business a little bit later. That's been a little bit of a topic. Again, we get. I think we're getting close to 200 people who have, probably 100 within the last year, who have joined just because the forest is more popular and people are more aware of it. But other than that, there's no issues or anything going on at this point. We had an issue since the last meeting. I guess we had an issue where there was this nonsense about wanting to shame people and post their pictures because somebody sees them doing something they don't like them doing in the forest. And that's been brought under control, and so there's no further issue with that.
That's why you have the nickname the Enforcer now. Thank you.
Yeah, okay.
Bob took care of that within 6 minutes, I think. So thank you. Come on, Bob, you could smile on that. It was good stuff. All right. So the ultra marathons. These now, I believe these have been approved already, right? Or not approved? Aileen, help me. I believe we approved them, right?
Yes, you have approved them, and then you just want to add the two that Lou Loban wants to add for 2021.
Right, we'll put that on the new business. Yeah, that's just remind me so we don't go through the whole meeting and me forget it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So there's 4 coming up. We got April, June, September, and December all approved, and I think it's it really does add a lot to the forest. Lou's in the forest 8 days a week doing something, so he's pretty busy up there. Park repair. I love keeping this on the agenda. There seems to be more and more stuff happening, and I don't remember the term that was used in New York City 20, 30 years ago. What was it? Broken window stuff, right? But I know we kind of have to keep up with that. And Bill or Aileen, if you could put in the notes, there is some railings from the, I guess the corral railings. Would that be the right term for the parking lot? Those corral fences?
Split rail.
Split rail.
What are they called? Split rail?
Split rail.
Split rail. Yeah,
Yes.
I'm a real handy guy. You guys can tell that every time I talk. Yeah, the split rail fence needs to be fixed. They did fix the potholes in the parking lot last week, by the way, and there was some patchwork done with coal, what's it called, coal patch on the road there. So that has been fixed. Other than that, there's been some minor damages here and there, but nothing to. Well, we'll address the graffiti stuff a little bit later. Is there anything? Oh, you know what? Oh, I got to report a couple of cool things. The Beaver Deceiver is gone. It was taken out of Pumpkin Ground Brook. And the other thing that was bothering me for a long time, our friends at Optimum left, I don't know, I'm going to say 200 yards of coax cable on Peters Lane, and that has been removed by Public Works because they kept saying they were coming a year later. Finally, it's gone by Public Works. So I like to commend Public Works took care of both. So I'm not sure if I reported that at the last meeting, but if I did, I apologize. If I didn't, I wanted you guys to know that. So the Beaver Deceiver out of Pumpkin Ground Brook is huge. Bill, I think Bill had something to do. Bill, thank you on that. I know you made a phone call too. So thank you.
Yeah, Chad was very helpful in getting it done the next day.
Yeah, it was crazy. He found out about two things and he got two things done the next day. No coincidence he had a new boss a week before that either. So, no coincidence.
Yeah, they've been especially responsive lately.
Yeah, they really have. Hey, oh, you know what's broken though? We got to mention the on the Blue Trail, there's a chain that goes across there with a lock to keep motor vehicles out of it. And for some reason, it's been on the ground now for about 3 months. And I've been talking to Liza. Anything else that I'm missing? Bob, you guys are all up there quite a bit, so I just want to make sure I'm not. Sugar, I lost my agenda.
Where on the Blue Trail is the chain? Is that the one that goes
That's
to?
I'm Peter. It's the one on Peters Lane. It's on the left, just before the entrance, near the entrance there.
Oh, okay.
It's painted orange. It's on the ground there. Forced closed signs. That has to deal with the whole. We haven't really run into it with the shooting range, but so I don't know. I still don't know how we're going to address that. But that's keep it on the agenda. Any other on the old business continuing items? Any other comments before we move on? If none, new business, graffiti, vandalism. I'll just kind of start with it. So I got obviously there's some postings on the Roosevelt Forest page about graffiti. There seems to be a lot of spray painting on trees. So if you walk near the pavilion there to the right, I think it's near the yellow trail there. Somebody spray painted all over the place. I sent an email to the police chief and the mayor's office. Both responded quickly. The police chief promised more foot patrols in the force, and the mayor took note of that as well. And we keep talking about cameras at the forest. I truly believe in some cases, and this might be one of them, I think even if we had the cameras, I'm not sure if that vandalism would still not happen. I think it would be out of camera range, even though there is a utility pole. So that's just something to talk about. I want to go on record on new business and the vandalism. I think without cameras, and I like to put this in the record, I feel like our assets, which are probably about My guess about $500,000 when you have the pavilion and the what's it called, the nature center and everything up there. Without that, in the dog park too, and the police range, you're going to have vandalism, and that's going to be cost more than the cameras. So I would request the council in their budget coming up in their 2021-22 budget to allocate. I think the number was about 7,500, but about 7,500 to $8,000 for cameras for the Roosevelt Forest thing. So I just want someone's thoughts on that. That's just my opinion. So
I agree. I mean, the camera's got to be a deterrent at least. Put signage that smile you're on candid camera or something. But there's definitely should be cameras there would definitely deter. Maybe not stop completely, but definitely deter.
any
Yeah, so it seems like there's a couple of areas that are priority if we're going to be able to put cameras in. One would be the pavilion. We probably want something over by the dog park.
Yeah.
Because that certainly is a place that somebody could vandalize. Over by the building that has the classroom in it, the parking lot area, that would give us at least a shot of identifying. Some of the vandalism has happened. Excuse me. Some of the vandalism has happened, like on the tables in the pavilion, or people just leaving a whole bunch of trash. And it would be nice to be able to track some of that down. And if we had if we had parking lot and we had the pavilion itself, we could probably put 2 and 2 together and, give somebody a pretty hard time about, leaving their beer cans all over the inside of the pavilion, or writing all over the picnic tables with marker. I mean, I suspect if we had some video footage, there are at least a few of us who would be willing to put some time in to try to connect whatever we could see with a car.
Well,
And then,
just to kind of comment on that, one of the cameras that they were talking about is a license plate reader too. So PD has some interest in this as well because they're shooting ranges down there, right?
Right.
So, and by the way, the cameras again, the cameras are like TVs from 10 years ago. If you remember, your $3,000 TV is now, $499 at BJ's. And by the way, it's in better shape than it was 20 years ago. Cameras are the same way, but it is buying the right camera. You want the night vision. Storage is a deal. There is an MRC, a monthly reoccurring cost because you need some type of line, whether it's a cable line or a DSL line to transport the information back to a certain essential area. But you can do that on an SD-WAN, pretty simple. But Paul Frizola has gotten quotes. And like I said, the quote is under $8,000. I'm just throwing that number out there. But Bill, that's something. I mean, you got a $200 million budget, and that's one of our big assets. I think it's a by the time the fire department has a recall to put out the fire, all the destruction that could happen is well over $8,000. It's an insurance policy. That's what it is. We're investing in insurance into the forest, and that's what we need to do.
Yeah.
Hey, Bob, what's
Absolutely.
the
We're not going to be going.
what's the
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Bill.
what's the current budget for Roosevelt Forest? Do you remember offhand?
We don't have $0.0.
No, I thought they said there is.
No, we have $1,200. We pay Aileen, I think, $10,000 a meeting, so maybe $120,000. I don't know. Maybe it's $100 a meeting. Yeah, it's $100, $100,000, same thing, Aileen. No, it's about $1,200. That's our budget.
Okay.
Hey, Bill?
Yeah.
Bill?
Yep.
Wasn't this approved at one of the Parks and Rec meeting? Because I don't think it was here. It was here or
I know I've
approved
wait.
town council with a favorable recommendation, having cameras installed at Roosevelt Forest in an amount not to exceed.
I think it was
Something.
us. We might have done this. But they said
I
they
don't
ran
remember
out
it
of
at Parks and Rec.
right now. Timiak and McNeil are trying to figure out where to get the money, but it's got to be budgeted somewhere. I mean, throw it in our budget, throw $8,000 in our budget to cover it, but it's just got to be covered out of somewhere. And it needs an MRC. That's got to be out of the operating budget. So whatever we pay, Paul Frzola has that number. I think it's under $50 a month that we have a DSL rate. Sorry,
Sorry, Bob. At your October meeting, where is it? The police department received 3 quotes for the cameras, with the lowest one being $7,300. But the department does not have funding for such. Upon discussion, Mr. David accepted a motion by Ms. Gerber-Carey to approve and send to the town council with a favorable recommendation installation of cameras at Roosevelt Forest in an amount not to exceed $7,400. Mr. Maricondo seconded the motion, which passed unanimously.
Can we re-forward that to the council clerk, please? To get on the agenda for you guys. We need to get this done.
I know when I've talked to Chris Timiak about it, his argument is that, well, there's probably 15 places in town where you need cameras, and that's what he always comes back with me at, that, well, we need them here, we need them there, we need them everywhere. But I think we still keep pushing for it.
Well,
we got to start somewhere.
Well, if Timiak's not on board with it, let's start with Laura. Because I mean, this can come from the council with Laura too. I mean, right? I'm not denying, and I listen. I like Chris a lot, and I agree. There's a lot of places in town that should have cameras, but one of our big assets is the Roosevelt Forest. That pavilion, you don't want that thing in rubble. That's what's going to happen.
And so isolated and it's become a spot for vandalism.
Absolutely. The dog park, it's just not fair. Matter of fact, they put, just so you know, you just mentioned the dog park, they put in pipes for the cameras there already. You notice that? They're already there. So they're ready to go with this. So it's a nominal amount of money for under a 200. When you have a $200 million budget and you can't find $8,000, then we got bigger problems. We really do. All right. Here's my tirade on that. Anything else? Because I got to tell. Oh, before I forget, I saw an otter. Just so you know, an otter, not a beaver, an otter.
They don't make dams, do they?
Are they indigenous here?
Where did you see it?
I saw them in the pond, and it wasn't a muskrat. It was pretty big.
Got a picture?
Of course I don't.
Bob?
I'm on my otter story. Hold on, Aileen. No, go ahead.
On your new business, you're going to talk about Lou's requested 2 additional runs?
Thank you. So the 2 additional runs, can you give me the dates, please?
Yep, he is requesting a 24-hour ultra marathon on October 9th and 10th called the Centurion, and a half marathon on Saturday, November 22nd called the Stony Brook.
If any opinions, I mean, I have no problem with it, but I would look for a motion to approve if everybody's okay with it.
So move, Mr. Chairman, and then we can have a little bit of discussion.
Okay, moved by Mr. Llewellyn, seconded by
Bill O'Brien, second.
Bill O'Brien, second. Discussion. Who wants to start? Alan, you want to start or?
Yeah, I'll be quick. I just wanted to be wanted to be noted and have all of us acknowledged as we're meeting here as a committee that that 100-miler or 24-hour race is not going to involve any camping. I think he said there'd be some rest and relaxation areas, but it won't involve camping like the 30-hour 100-mile marathon does. So I just wanted everybody to be aware and have that be clear. Thank you.
And speaking of the marathons, he has been making donations to us. He usually gives me a cash donation, which I immediately write into a check and give over to the town hall and let everybody know on that. So just FYI. So we have donations from him. It does go into our fund, which, you know, if we used it for the timber, we've used it for trail markers and stuff like that. So that is a separate fund with the town, just FYI. It's a nominal amount in there, a couple $100 here and there, but we have been, that's what we have that money, that's what we use it for. Not enough for camping.
Hey, Bob, do you or Alan know what kind of participation he averages for those runs?
I've been there. I mean, Bob, you've been up there a couple times too. What would you say?
He doesn't. I don't think he gets over 50. I don't think he wants over 50 because, you know, the forest is open at the time and there's limited parking, and so I think he cuts it off. Although I think he also has some discretion. You know, if he had 50 and somebody, you know, contacts him and wants to be number 51, I don't think he would, you know, push it hard. We could ask Lou. Lou apparently can't come to these meetings that we're doing online because he just doesn't hear well enough to really be able to participate and understand what's going on. But you know, it's easy enough to communicate with him and find that out.
That's pretty. Sounds like they're popular though. I'm impressed. I wouldn't want to drive overnight.
Yeah, and I don't think. And by the way, that 30-hour thing, he doesn't. We don't allow camping on that, but we do allow him to set up a tent. You know, that's run in the hotter weather, so it just provides a shelter. There, you know, any food that's available is at the pavilion, and that's something that that Lou organizes. But it's not like a guy is coming in and bringing his family, and his family is camping while he's running for 30 hours. So I wouldn't be surprised. In October, I'm not sure what their need for shelter would be, but I guess if they had rain, I mean, this is not a, you know, rain wouldn't cancel this kind of event. And we haven't had a problem in the past of, you know, giving them some latitude to, you know, use those pop-up, you know, those pop-up easy up tents if somebody wanted to bring one of those in, just so that they had a place either out of the sun or out of the rain. So, you know,
Bill, it's very well organized. I would highly recommend you stopping by one of those events. It's pretty cool.
I was just thinking that. Yeah, I think I'd like to do that. Yeah, I'm not going to participate, but I'll stop by.
No, Bill. That you're supposed to run at least 20 or 30 miles if you're going to go up there and watch.
I want to see that USMC T-shirt. Come on.
Those days are long gone.
So we found out Bill's not doing the Crucible this summer. That's good. Anything else?
How about a marathon golf outing? I'll do that, Bob, with you.
I'm with you all the way. As soon as I'm getting cleared next week to go off. Thank God. Anything else on new business?
Well, did we have a motion on the in regards to allowing him to allowing Lou to do?
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. We need a vote. Thank you. By the way, I'm drinking Pellegrino, so it's not, you know. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? So carried. Perfect. Lou will be happy. Anything else?
Hey, Bob, I guess Kelly's not with us tonight?
No, I don't see her on tonight.
Okay.
No, she's at the Redmark meeting that I'm joining as soon as we leave here.
Okay,
She-
I've got a request. Can we add to old business updates on the map
Yes.
or continuing items?
Continuing items, yes. If you could put updates to the map, the map's got to be, yes. Thank you.
I think the St. James property, Kelly was going to check on that.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I could address that. Thank you for bringing that up. So just so you know, we did a little research. I think everybody here knows this, but just so you know, St. James owns a piece of parcel. This is what you probably did not know. It's 3.99 acres. I thought it was a lot smaller than that, but it's 3.99 acres in the middle of the forest. My contact of the diocese is retired, who I was talking to about that. But I think it's something that we need the town attorney to see if we can incorporate that part of the forest. I mean, I don't get it. I don't know the history of it. I'm assuming they owned it before the town bought the forest. That's my guess. But again, I don't know the etymology of the property at all. Does anybody here have any knowledge of more than I'm saying? Frank, here's a question for you. So St. James Church owns it, but it would be controlled by the Diocese of Bridgeport, correct? Does or can St. James have to dictate that?
Well, all church property is owned by the diocese.
Okay.
Now, does the diocese even know about this parcel of land there? Who knows? I could try to find out.
Yeah, I mean, I know you're tied in with it. I just don't know. I guess my question to you is, like at St. Mark's, does St. Mark's have control over all of its own stuff? Does it have to answer to the diocese?
Hey, Bob
St. Mark
Ford.
has control.
Yeah, Bob, I need you. Yeah.
Losing you.
Okay, so
Yeah,
St. Mark has control of the property, but it's all has to be approved by the diocese.
Okay, all right. So I just don't want to. I don't know you want to use that term. I would probably want to go through the diocese. It seems probably easier than through St. James itself. I don't know.
I guess we start with going through St. James.
Is that what I mean? I don't. Who runs the show over there? Father Lynch is retired, right?
Well, Jack Lynch is the principal of the school, and I talked to him one day, and he knows about it. He's aware that they have that property, but nobody seems to know the history of it.
I mean, it's just, well, it's just something that it's unusual. I didn't realize it was 3.99 acres until I just found that out recently. I thought it was a lot more than that, but it's 4 acres is pretty significant. I mean, I just don't know the value of either, right? I mean, would they deed it over to the town? I don't know. Would they make the town pay for it? It just seems, I don't know. But if you could put that on the continuing items, please, Aileen, so we don't get our eye off the ball on that.
Yeah.
And that'll raise a few eyebrows, I'm sure. Because I could bet, if I'm a betting man, half the town council does not know St. James owns property in the middle of Roosevelt Forest.
I never knew it until the day I was with Frank marking the trail.
I'm sorry, Frank, what'd you say?
I said, I'll bet 90% of the council does not know. Only Bill O'Brien knows about it.
I think Pia does. I think I told Pia, so I'm gonna go.
Okay.
And I only know because that day I went out with Frank marking the trail, we came upon it and he showed it to me.
Yeah.
Any other business? So we will be meeting. When is it? We'll be meeting in February. Will be good. Everybody stay healthy.
Okay.
Really, I mean that. So everybody take care of themselves. All right. So we will be staying remote. My goal is hopefully we'll be live in September. That's the goal. We shall see.
Well, I would suggest too, when the warmer weather comes, we could meet at Roosevelt Forest at least one time.
Bill O'Brien, you know what to do right now?
Need to do that. I would say that hopefully.
What'd you say, Aileen?
Cool.
You know what to do right now?
Yeah, I'd make a motion to adjourn.
Yep. And a second.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Hi.
Stay safe. Adjourn 7:18 p.m. Aileen, mucho gracias, senorita.
You got it.